Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the third interview podcast of Among the Clefs interview, organized by the Royal College of Western Music Society. I'm your host, Nevin Wanyarchi, and joining me today is the 100th anniversary choir leader, Meth Hettihewa. It's a pleasure to have you on here.
It's a pleasure to be, and thank you for calling me, and thank you for inviting me to be this podcast. Sessions mine. And it's really cool that you are doing this, right? Because it brings back all these old boys and people who've been through the spectrum of school. Yeah, to come and share the stories. So it's a fantastic platform.
I love how, we've had so many great voices, and I think each interview has brought out different sides of, school experience, choir experience, and, different stories kind of show how different people experience school.
Yeah.
And, I'd love to hear your story and, see how, I guess, choir has impacted you, because being 100th choir leader was like a pretty staple thing. I feel like that was a pretty symbolic thing that really grasped onto you. How did that change, say, the way that you approached your choir leader?
Yeah. So being the 100th choir leader is, a very special thing. Yes, because it is probably, once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
So first of all, when I was appointed, we knew it was the 100th year. We knew that it had to be a special year, right?
Yeah.
So we had a lot of plans to take choir to the next level in this 100th year.
Right.
So coming off a World Choir Games, very successful World Choir Games, I would say campaign.
Yeah.
Right, because in 2017 we had just done the Asia Pacific Choir Games. It ourselves there, and then we decided to go international, and then we decided to go for the World Choir Games in South Africa, where we bagged 3 silver medals.
Yes.
Which was crazy because we were that one Sri Lankan choir that most people didn't even know what the what Sri Lanka was, right? So it was very cool to represent Sri Lanka there. But I think we'll talk about that later on. Coming into the 100th year, we had a lot of plans. We had a plan to organize like a century concert, which was very exciting. This is the first time, I think, in a long time, or at least the first time in the known history of the Royal College Choir that we organized a choir concert. Either be festival or something like that. So very, very exciting. But at the start of the year, we had the Sunday attack, which wasn't great. So that was the first challenge that we had.
Right.
Because we had initially planned it to be earlier on in the year.
Okay.
And to start the year off with some excitement. But with that was a challenge. We had to push it back. We had to organize. So, being the 100th choir leader was very special. It was also a lot of responsibility to take on. And it's also something that shaped me as a person, being that it was a lot of responsibility, like I said. And I think myself and my batch, assistant choir Pawan and my entire batch really took the opportunity, and we really, I think, took choir to a different place in that 100th year.
Right.
So very special. It was also, I think, a year where we showed the people before us that it was, that they had made this happen.
Yeah.
So 100 years of choir, starting from singing at carol service, being trained under Principal Reed, to coming to stage of World Choir Games, with having a heart attack in recipes. Being the leader through one of that was very special. So yeah, I would say it was quite a special experience.
That's a lot of pressure, though. Yeah.
It was a lot of pressure because, like I said, at the end of the day, it is taking that legacy forward. Also making sure that the new chapter, right, of this, because after 100 years, that's a completely different world.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of pressure for sure, because we also had a lot of people wanting to join choir in school. I remember myself and Pawan, the audition over 200, 300 people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we wanted to have 100 voiced choir for the 100 years, right?
Okay.
And that was our plan. Myself and Pawan also auditioned for it. So Miss Sureka, the director of the Royal College Choir, auditioned us alongside Miss Priyati, the teaching child who was in society. So we wanted to lead by example, where we wanted to show
Yeah.
that this is this is a very fair process. So we also auditioned, and finally we shortlisted 100 voices for the 100 years. So it was quite a tough task. Right now.
And you talk about, so much responsibility being like put on you. How did you manage that with, while you were being like a steward or like all of the media and the club work that you did? And obviously, trying to build up to prefectship.
Yeah, I mean, good question. Like, even I look back now and I'm like, how did I do that? Because, as a schoolboy, it's a lot of pressure. But I think that's also the beauty of role, is that you're in that space, you're in that environment where you're constantly inspired. Right? Because you get these various sports, club societies, doing various things in school, and doing, being a part of rich tradition.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the field, you're in the Bradley Shield, or at SSC playing a big match, or even if you're on stage, acting for the Royal College drama troupe at the Shakespeare competition, or if you're in the pool, working towards a Heyman, whatever it is, you're constantly kind of surrounded by all that. Right? So when you're given to be a part of that legacy, you obviously take it by the reins, and you take it to where it's supposed to be. So I think pressure wasn't really something that royalists really think of.
Right.
I've noticed that. Coming out of after school, coming out at all, you really start feeling pressure in ways that you didn't.
Yeah.
You probably did feel more pressurized in school because you had so much going on. For some reason, that environment doesn't get you down. So I think that's something that really helped keep going.
I guess because everything you work for school, you work towards.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I was a part of a lot of things in school.
Yeah.
And while that was going on, I made sure I kept my studies going as well. So yeah, it was tough, but it was also that environment that I think we grew up in.
Yeah.
That built that in me. I think it's the same today, if I'm not mistaken.
I see. And organizing something like the 100th century concert doesn't come. It's not like a regular thing.
Yep.
How is that process?
Again, it was a very tough task in that year because of the situation in the country at the moment. It was quite a serious security situation. Right? And also it was a presidential election year. So it was in terms of the ministry and working with the ministry, it was a hard process. But this was the 100th year of Royal Choir.
Yeah.
This was the year that was magical to all of us, because we started off the year with winning the All Ireland competition. For 8 years straight, we were winning it. And then, we worked towards the century concert. We had a festival plan. That was also an anniversary concert of the festival that year. So, a lot of things were happening that year. And we were super excited to get going. And yeah, organizing century concert, first we had that little bit of a challenge with the whole Samuel drag thing. But yeah, once we got through that and we started planning, all the support from everyone, from especially Miss Priyanti, who was our teacher in charge, Miss Sri Lanka, who was our director, they were obviously the guiding lights of this, right? They were the ones who helped to put our vision on stage.
Yeah.
And it was purely our vision. It was myself, Awan, who was assistant leader, Jan, who was the chairman of the WMS, and also their entire team. We all worked together to get this vision on stage, and we got it. We really got it the way we wanted to do it. It was a resounding success. We had a sold out crowd. I think we sold out the tickets in less than 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just one night.
Yeah.
At the Lionel event. So yeah, it was a resounding success. And yeah, organizing it was quite tough, but we got to put our vision out there, right? So I think it was a resounding success, and we got a lot of good comments.
Yeah.
And it was something that I will treasure for the rest of my life.
Wonderful. I think maybe with Easter Sunday, we'll probably hard to get people to come for practices or at least be involved.
Yeah. So again, right, we have this saying at Royal that adversity causes some men to break and some to break records, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's a life lesson where it was tough, but we got it done. So and the passion and the enthusiasm the kids had,
yeah,
the choristers had were off the charts.
How did you kind of maintain, obviously wild enthusiasm thing. How do you maintain, or how did you maintain the quality and the standard? Because, being the 100th anniversary choir has to have, some sort of that standard. Yeah.
So I guess, going into 2019, we were just after going for the World Choir Games and winning those 3 silver medals. So tonally, we were there.
Right.
We were sounding good. But obviously, we had new voices coming in. We had some voices that left in their final year. So definitely, it was something of a, do we keep this quality going? Do we increase this quality? How do we take it to the next level? Doing the whole 100 Voices project also was something that was challenging, because we had to find, so there was only 40 voices that went for the actually to find 60 other voices to complete the 100 voices and to keep that standard.
Okay.
So obviously that was a tough task, but keeping the standards was easy because the boys were very committed.
Right.
Showed up for practices. They had their own practices. They had practices at different houses.
Okay.
On their holidays, they had practices in the interval, when the parts got together and they practiced. So that obviously makes a difference. So, and everyone's super excited, not even enthusiastic. Yeah, in love with the music, right?
Yeah.
And also excited to be a part of the 100th choir. We saw faces that we've never seen before coming to audition. And to keep that standard was not easy.
Right.
But not only chorally, we had a vision to keep the standards up in the other aspects as well.
Right.
So that could be how we behave, that could be our discipline, that could be how we portray ourselves on stage, that could be costumes, that could be, all of those things. Now, for example, one thing that we did during the 100-year concept was we, during the school song, we wear uniform, right? And it was so important to us. That's something that you also probably seen the boys come on stage to see the school song, and you get these great lines, and you don't wear the white shorts. And then you see the socks out in different levels.
Yeah,
it's really ugly.
Yeah.
It's something that you can control, and you have to control it. But so something that I did was, for the Century concert, we asked all the grade 9s and below to go to a control shop and buy a specific sock, specific pair and specific height. And before we went on stage, we made sure it was all one level. Right? So you all can find this picture. I think you all can put it up while when you're editing a video, that the socks are literally in one line. And that's the kind of standard that we strive for, because we wanted to see not only chorally, not only the music standard, but also how we portray ourselves as a Royal College Choir in our 100th year. Stuff like that were really important to me. So we wanted to portray ourselves as the best choir on the island, also the classiest choir in the country, and also to portray ourselves as royal. Yeah. So that's the small things, they go a long way in my opinion. So that's how I always tried to keep those standards alive. I hope those standards are still there.
Yeah.
And if not, I encourage you guys to take it back and tell them, look, we need to do this, right? Because it's not just about the singing, it's about how we portray ourselves. It's about how we act and how we behave and how disciplined we are to keep that there.
I think even the funny thing is like the socks and like just making them like,
it's just such a small thing.
It's like, I think it's still going on.
That's great.
Yeah, so
because it's such an important thing.
Yeah.
When you're the Royal College Choir, especially in your 100th, you have to be above the rest. So I hope you all do find that picture. If the picture is asked me and you put it up on the screen, it was so impactful. Right? We got comments from the entire school administration saying, "Well, okay, that was really cool." So that's how we get the sense.
Right. Going, I guess, back, off the rails. You talked about, how the Balis, had their own practices.
Yeah.
And, they were like that committed. Did you, when you were like, say, grade 6, did you see yourself having that same passion?
To be honest, yes. Because when I was in grade 6, when we had just joined choir, so I had the privilege of joining choir in grade 5.
Okay.
It means grade 6, right? Grade 5, because there was the production of the, Jack and the Soybean stuff. So this is done in the primary school.
Right.
So I was in grade 5, obviously, in the primary. But the choir that sang was the Royal College Choir. It wasn't the primary choir, it was the Royal College Choir that sang. And they also wanted some voices from the primary to join in. And they had auditions, and 3 of us got selected. And I was one of 3. And it was really cool because we got to experience choir before anyone else.
Yeah.
In grade 5. And so I remember even then we did have those kind of practices where we went to someone's house and we had to go through the parts. But that was a major production back in the day. I don't know, I don't think you all did even been that.
2011. Oh, no. So we were like 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, right? So this is very cool to be a part of the choir then. And then, coming into grade 6, we had that exposure as well. So we used to meet a lot during the interval and practice our parts. We used to also like I said, go to like friends' houses. It would have to be a place where there was a piano, right? So we go there and sit down and practice. Also like jam. It wasn't just choir stuff, jam. Start playing the piano and jam some music. And the passion was always there. It was so nice to see that passion still being there, 10 years later, 10 years, but 8 years later, where the kids are doing the same thing.
Yeah. I think we saw that even, I guess, on my experience, we did the BARISTA medley.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the passion came from the...
Exactly. Right. When you're doing it on your own, and when you have someone like Miss Rekha backing you, you can really put your creativity out, and that's important.
Yeah. And, take us through, I guess, the story of like a moment that you had during rehearsal that, made you feel like, okay, maybe the choir has like found its own unique sound, or like its own identity.
Oh, that's a question. I would say this. That red challenge, or that was like a flip switch moment for the choir, because in 2013, I remember we sang a medley, Imagine Having the Medley for festival.
Oh wow,
it was good. It was actually very nostalgic as well. But chorally, we were not there.
Okay.
Because we came up with it was just a normal pop song, like 3 pop songs that we, were just kind of fun together. We had like very basic harmonies. This was not cheap music.
Okay.
But then, in 2014, we did the Lion King medley. And the Lion King medley was a 4-part, SATB, it was sheet music.
Right.
Yes. It was all very complicated stuff. Well, I think for the first time in a long time, the Royal Choir did something where we actually read sheet music, right? So that was, I think, a moment where there was that flip switch kind of situation, where from that onwards, we started playing complicated music. We started playing, the Holiday Chorus, Hold On To Us, Child Is Go On, even the Queen medley and all that. We had sheet music with us. So a lot of like technical stuff we started doing.
Right.
So I feel like that was a real, real kind of moment of change for the Royal College Choir. And it's also something that we all felt so much like the blend and end kind of, I think, was born there also. I could say, I mean, we've always had that catchphrase, right? Blend and end. But you could really feel it.
Was there, there since like before you were born?
Yeah, it's been there for a while.
Okay.
So I don't really know where it was born in terms of where we started.
Yeah.
But I know that once we did that Lion King medley in 2014, that really came to life. We really felt it.
We felt the blend.
We did. And also the was crazy feeling. And then we also did the Lion King medley again in 2019 at the 100-year concert.
Okay.
We took it to the next level.
Right. I guess, on stage and off stage, there's like always these moments, like emotional moments.
Yeah.
There's always, there's like memories that stick with you. And sometimes it like helps you shape the rest of how you look at life. What's been a moment, that...
Yeah. I mean, I think I've had a lot of those moments with the choir.
Okay.
A lot of them. Whether that was on the stage of festival, on the carol service, But one thing that always kind of stuck with me and will for the rest of my life is, again, I go back to world choir again.
Okay.
I kept telling you we were a choir from Sri Lanka, far away. No one really knew what Sri Lanka was, or if it was a country. Thought we were part of India.
Okay.
It was also fun to represent Sri Lanka and tell the people what Sri Lanka really was. There was this world choir village where all the choirs got together. It was kind of like the Olympic village, right? It was very fun to be a part of because we got to kind of interact with different people from different countries and different choirs. But when we performed, we performed in 3 categories. We performed in the youth category, the folklore category, and also the pop category. That's the 3 categories. And the youth category that was what we did first. So that included Baba Edo, that included also the music that Miss wrote for us to perform specifically for us, and also I would say exclusively for us. And also a few other technical pieces like even Turote Sikasi and also Ayoba, is that right? And also something from Prince of Egypt called we did those numbers, right? And I remember, so I was the one who actually did the solo for Babe too. And
I've seen that. Yeah.
it's on YouTube. Yes, film also watch. So going on that stage, again, like I said, Sri Lanka people were like, it was a packed audience. It was at the Pretoria Boys High School auditorium. Actually got it in Babli place also. It was a packed place, right? And everyone was like, Sri Lanka, where is that?
Okay.
So we come on, we perform, and after every single performance, we got a standing ovation.
Wow.
So it was like for us, like we never had standing ovation.
Yeah.
Before, right?
Yeah.
Like there used to be so Sri Lankan teenage audience that come for festival of quite fun. So we got standing ovations at World Choir Games, and I remember the last song we sang was "When You Believe."
Yeah.
Coming off that stage, we saw really everyone in that audience were in tears. And I'm not exaggerating. It was such a beautiful thing to see. Because they were like, this some choir from Sri Lanka, right? And it was so emotional for us. We was like also emotional after that of youth category performance. And later that evening, one of the parents brought in, so we were saying in a dormitory that quiet by the World Choir Committee, brought in a phone with a Facebook post from one of the judges in that panel, right? He was from the UK.
Okay.
And he had written a post on Facebook talking about only us, right? Not any of the other choirs that performed on the day. There were about 200 performances on the day. Spoke about us and said this choir from Sri Lanka from a boys' school called Royal College came and really moved me, and it's something that I will remember for the rest of my life. It was so emotional, that post as well. So for us to go from Colombo, from main hall, to going all the way to South Africa, across the world, performing here, and taking one of the judges of the World Choir Games, like Judge panel, the top people in the world, right? And moving someone to tears was like very, very impactful. That's something. It was massive. It also set the tone for us for the next 2 categories that we had to perform, the pop category and the folklore categories. And it was such an impactful thing for us. That's something that we'll always remember and cherish for us.
How is that kind of obviously coming back from that? I assume like the flight also was like really fulfilling.
Yeah, for sure. Because bringing 3 silver medals back to Sri Lanka was quite cool. It felt like we represented the country really. And we also knew there were new schools waiting for us. That was exciting. But coming back, it was nothing but gratefulness, for the opportunity, and also for the ability for us to bring this back to Sri Lanka and back to Royal as well.
Right. So, how did that kind of, I guess, shape practices after that, and the next few years to come?
So, like I said, 40 voices flew for the World Choir Games. And some of those voices left because they had to leave school because that gave us a challenge. And we also had the vision for 100 voices. So like I said earlier, that that's other 60 voices had to be equally cool.
Yeah.
So it was a challenging task. It was a task, but having that 40 or 35, right, or into that 100th year set the tone because they really took charge. They really took it on themselves to make sure the status is up there. So it was, I would say, an asset going into the 100th year, having that exposure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess, what was sort of, everyone has their own, every leader at least has their own signature thing that they do. Or like, their own thing that every year kind of escalates the standard. What was your like one defining tone moment that?
I think that's a question you have to ask like the choir, at least the choir after 19. But defining, like I said, one thing was I was very specific about those small things. Even if it was the socks being the same, I was very specific about that. Also, I think it was the mutual respect I had with everyone.
Right.
And that was not just me, that's something that myself felt. The entire leadership of SB Society and in the choir, myself and also the assistant choir leader had this, we planned, one that we planned. It was always our thing where we were always, looking for equality within choir. Right? Because choir is one place at Royal where a grade 6 student who could be even a scholar sits next to the head prefect and sits in the same room. Nowhere in college you get that. Nowhere. Whether that's cricket or whether that's a sport, like nowhere in college will you get that. Even if it's in a Shakespeare drama, you still have to be in grade 9 or grade 10. Right? So for a grade 6 who's just trying to get exposed to school or like the real world of school, right? Gets to sit next to the head prefect and be on the same level. Right? And be able to sing and represent college. It's something that makes choir really special. And that's one thing that I really wanted to really emphasize on in our year. I wanted to kind of emphasize that fact and say, look, we're all equal. No one here is above the rest. Not the choir leaders. I mean, in terms of hierarchy, maybe. But in terms of the responsibility we all have, the passion we all have, it's the same. So I think that was something that myself and my entire batch kind of had as like a thing. Or like, not significant, but like a signature thing was we wanted to be friends with everyone and we wanted to make sure everyone's friend with us. Even if it's a new grade 6 who never seen me before in their life, I wanted to be that person who they've come up to and talk to without having to, be scared or that's something that we really wanted. And I think we achieved that. It came to a point where my coffee was being stolen by the grade 6s, but it was nice. I have that. So that created mutual respect.
Right.
In a way that, being stolen wouldn't have. So while we were still, we ensured there was discipline and we were very, very, very critical about that. But we also wanted to have that space where it was equal space.
But were there like any, I guess, because you create mutual respect, were there any times when, like the Malis crossed the line? Any challenges that...
Crossing the line? No. I think because of that, because we had that mutual respect for each other, it was all quite smooth.
We managed to
and all that. Okay. And I think also the community within choir is also, mutual respect goes a long way. So I think that really made it impactful in terms of getting things done that year. And also creating that matching on stage.
Right. Coming back as a prefect, sitting with the grade 6s, do you have any like funny stories that are like maybe even when you were out of school and you came back?
I mean, we always try to come back and be a part of what is weekend in terms of prepping for festival or if it's carousels or whatnot. It's different to come back because you see a lot of people who you've never seen before. Being a part of choir, which is fantastic. And you also get you get to meet your grade six. So in 2019, the grade sixes are like now what? In O-levels or is it?
2019 grades, I think they're almost,
Let's say A-levels or O-levels, but not. You go back in your life and you meet them, yeah, then you realize they've cracked their voices and they've grown and they've changed a lot, but also they still remember the special memories from 2019.
Yeah.
They come and they say, yeah, this happened, that happened, and that puts puts a smile on your face because
really.
they cherish it, right?
Yeah.
And I hope they cherish it for the rest of their lives.
I guess, talking about knowledge and stuff, what's something that you hope people look back on from like the 100th year and then still, what's that story or that legacy that you feel like you want people to think about and like have in their minds?
Yeah, so one thing that again I've loved about the century here is, like I said, when we go back to college and we go back to choir, they always take our year as a benchmark. And I'm not bragging when I say that. I think that's very important. They're like, what did they do in Meta years? Or what did they do in 2019, right?
Yeah.
Or like that year we did this. So you see how can we make it better? Or something like that, It always tells you that you've made an impact. So our batch, I think, did make an impact in that sense. And going back to the choir or going back to funky practices, when you hear that, when you see that, you realize that you made an impact. Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that legacy, taking that forward now is up with the case.
Yeah.
And to building a new bench, I think 2022 is going to be the year, 2025 is going to be the year, 2028 is going to be the year, right? So I want that benchmark to come every single year. So I don't want us like 90. I want them to now say, this year was the best year.
Yeah.
And next year they take the last year of friends.
Yeah.
That's what should happen.
Yeah.
And I hope that happens.
Before we wrap up, what's something that you want to leave, obviously the Malayalis watching and perhaps everyone watching in maybe 35.
Yeah.
What's something that you want to kind of leave them with? And
I would say cherish your years in school. Because I think we had this chat before we started. So the years in school, the short 14 years in school we had is going to be the best 14 years of your life. To cherish it, have a lot of fun. Really put time and effort into everything you do in terms of if it's a choir, whether it's drama or whatever it is. Really put time and effort into it. Don't just stay at home doing nothing. I think that's the best thing to do because it's not. Get involved in anything you can in school. Chase your passions in school. When it comes to choir, keep showing up. You have very limited festivals to sing. If you start in grade 6, you have about 10, maximum 10 festivals to sing for. 10 this is to sing for. And if you're lucky, you might have like one century concert that you would have to sing for. But cherish it, have fun, blend. So that's super important. So yeah, that's my message. Have fun and also cherish the years you have in school. And you'll cherish it for life.
with that, thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak to not just us, but the future choir and everyone that's watching. It's been an incredible chat, and thanks for all of your stories and to just see how much choir has been back then versus now.
So, thanks, Levin, for having me, and listeners, Sadie, for having me. I hope that we keep doing this. We're bringing people back and talking about stories, and I also know that there's so much more that we can talk about for hours and hours and days maybe. But this is a fantastic initiative, and I wish everyone and Clefs Society best of luck with this project and this project as well. Thank you.
So with that, thank you so much to Meth Hettihewa, the 100th choir leader of the Royal College Choir. And with that, thank you so much for watching. This has been Among the Clefs, the podcast series, and I'm Nevin Wandiarchi, signing out.